Hey everyone, welcome back to Geek Strong. In today's video, we're going to take a trip down memory lane from when I was a kid. I'm gonna share some Christmas stories, a few uh-oh moments, a few uh-oh Christmas stories, I should say. It should be pretty fun. I think I'm gonna show some toys during the stories. So I'll record some toys in the background, toys that I'm talking about, that is. And also, what else? Some photos, maybe? How about some photos from my family and when I was a little boy? I think those will be pretty fun. I'll pop those up during the story time. But yeah, these are some uh-oh moments. Now, I definitely had a lot of great Christmases, and definitely, um, I can't remember one bad Christmas that we had. Great present. Santa Claus definitely treated my family and myself. I was the youngest child. I am the youngest child in my family, so I was pretty spoiled. I definitely got a lot of great toys from my siblings, from my parents. Santa Claus definitely treated me nice, but these are stories that I'm going to tell you about are from gifts that we shared each other as brothers and sisters, and mom and dad gifted me. So these are not stories from Santa Claus. These are stories of gifts that we passed along to each other. So I think it'll be pretty fun. So what do you say? Let's do this. Here is the first uh-oh moment for a Christmas story. So it's 1974. I was born in 1969, so I'm about 5 years old in this story. I have three older brothers and one older sister. My sister is Gail, 2 years older. I have one brother, he is 4 years older. That's David. And then Raymond and Walter, 8 years older than me. Unfortunately, Walter passed away. He's no longer with us. So, Walter, miss you, love you. But this story takes place in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And yeah, so 1974. Now, picture this house. So, as soon as you walk in, to the left is stairs leading up to 3 bedrooms, right? And the stairs have a metal railing, right? So you can look through the railing, so you can see the living room, which is the room that you would enter as soon as you walk in the house. And the house, I remember, had a plastic runner, probably 8 feet long. My brother and I used to, like, kind of pull in the slack and make jumps out of it. So we'd have like the Evel Knievel stunt cycle, crank that up and go over the ramp we would make from that runner, which was pretty fun. I love that. Definitely never forget that, playing with that runner. Definitely a lot of vehicles and motorcycles had some fun jumps over that thing. But so as soon as you walk in the house, there's a living room, and that's where we had the Christmas tree. The next room was another. We used that as a spare playroom, I do believe. It was like another family room, but I think that's where we kept most of our toys. And because there's 5 of us, right? So you got to keep the toys somewhere. The house wasn't that big. We had 3 bedrooms upstairs, like I said, and yeah, so you didn't have a lot of room to keep your toys as well as, everything else. So that middle room was another catch-all for toys, and then we had the kitchen and dining area where we sat and ate, and then outside was another door right there where we could have our yard play. It wasn't a big yard, but we had a little yard there. But anyway, so I remember this is Christmas Eve. Mom sends us up to bed. Santa's coming, right? So go upstairs, go to sleep, and I'm sure my brother a couple hours later probably woke us up. And this is my brother David, 4 years older, because we hung out. My brother David and my sister, because we were closer in age. My other brothers, Raymond and Walter, they were a little bit older. They were probably more the babysitters. They would watch us as kids, and I'm sure they loved that, right? But so I remember walking downstairs, right? So all these stories take place as before Santa comes, okay? So none of these are with Santa, okay? This is just gifts we gave each other and gifts that mom and dad gave us. So Santa hasn't come yet, but I didn't know that, right? So we come down trying to catch Santa in the act. But guess what? We caught mom in the act. Mom was under the tree putting out presents that she was gifting us. And I don't know if you know anything about Italian women, but man, my mom had a temper. And she did not appreciate being caught red-handed putting presents under the tree. And she was pretty upset, man. You kids get to your room. You want to see your presents? She started ripping some of the presents open, right? I laugh now. I'm sure at the time we were like, ah. But she ripped open this one present, and there it was, the 1974. Was it Fisher Price? Was it Fisher Price or Playsko? I think it was Fisher Price Sesame Street house. And man, hilarious now. I can laugh at it now, but every time I see that Sesame Street house, I think of that story. Mom ripping that open, and she's like, "You want to see it?" She rips it open, and there it was. And we ran to our room, probably crying a bit, but the next day everything was fine. Nobody even thought twice about it. We opened up all our presents. But I remember Mom, because anytime Mom got upset, and she pretty much immediately would apologize and stuff like that. She just had a temper, man, like that. Italian women, man. You got to watch out. And my dad's Canadian French, so he was like me, like now, is like super mellow, and he was the jokester, man. So, but Dad, is if you did something wrong, now, Mom would be like, "You wait till your dad comes home," and I don't think my dad was, at least from what I remember. I mean, back in the 70s, man, you did something wrong, you get the belt. But I don't remember getting the belt. It was probably more of a threat. I think I might have got it once, but it wasn't like major. But it was always a threat. You wait till your dad gets home, you're gonna get the belt. And back in the 70s, man, that's what happens. You do something wrong, man. You were supposed to fear your parents somewhat. You love your parents, but you do not disrespect your parents. So if you do, man, you get a licking. And not that we really got lickings, like I said, but Mom had the temper, and Dad was you better watch out or you'll get the belt, which you never got the belt anyways. But the fear of possibly getting the belt, you don't want that. But anyway, so that's the story of Mom. But Mom told me shortly after, she said, that wasn't for you. That was for your cousin Ricky. And so that present that she ripped open wasn't mine, right? But Santa brought me one, or somebody brought it to me because I got it anyway. So I don't think it was Santa. Maybe Mom was lying. I think she rewrapped it and gifted it to me, and Santa gave me some other stuff. So I think that's what happened. So Mom, I got you. But anyway, so that's the uh-oh moment. Mom, you got busted. And yeah, I'll never forget that. And I love that moment. I love looking at that toy and thinking of that moment, even though it is kind of a weird moment, right? But gotta love the uh-oh moments in life. So that's that story. Before we move on to the next story, I do want to step back and just reflect on that house in Lawrence. Definitely had some great toys in that house. Definitely played with some epic toys. Back in the 70s, man, G.I. Joe was huge. The big 12-inch G.I. Joes, we had a lot of those. My brother had a lot. And I'm sure, even though they were his, I got to play with them. Mego was huge. He had all the Marvel, DC. Definitely played with those. I have a lot of great memories playing with those toys. Mego Wizard of Oz was definitely mine. Scarecrow was my number one. $6 Million Man, love those. We played with those in the house. Stretch Armstrong, I remember playing with that specifically in that middle room. I remember stretching that with my brother and sister. Had a great time with Stretch Armstrong. Let me know if you had a Stretch Armstrong. We had Stretch Armstrong. I had Stretch X-Ray. I had Stretch Monster. I had them all. I still wish I had a Stretch Monster. I do have a Stretch X-Ray, which I'm super happy to have that in my collection. Earthquake Tower, I remember playing with that in that middle room. Fantastic playset. If you've never heard of the Earthquake Tower, check it out. If you go on YouTube, you can find, because it came with a record, and you can hear the audio on that. So Earthquake Tower, check it out. It was made by, what was it made by? I think it was made by Ideal or something. I'll let you know in the I'll put where it was from. But yeah, that was great. What else did I have? Man, we had so many toys in that house. I don't know, man. It was such a great time. The number one toy for my brother, he wishes he had it, and I got it in my collection because I had an opportunity to get it, and he didn't have the money at the time, so I did a lot of trade. I traded my Yak face for it, and that is the Marvel World playset. So even though he doesn't have it in his collection, I have it in mine, so it's still part of the family again. But we had that, he had that at that house in Lawrence. So it's a lot of great toys went in that house and a lot of great memories. So, but let's go on to the next story. So here it is. I think it's like 1979, probably, roughly. I mean, we could have a year back, a year forward, so it could be 78 to 80, roughly. Because a lot of these toys, I'm going by the year of the toy, what year this probably would have been. And this toy was made in 1978, but it's possible that I got it later on, so it could have been like 1979. But the good thing about being the youngest child, right, is I had a brother that was older, 8 years older, right? Now, this is Raymond. This story goes pretty much with my brother Raymond. So now, 70s, late 70s, early 80s, my brother had a job and he was making some money. So getting presents from him was epic because he would gift me some of the coolest toys. Not toys that I would ask for, but when I got them, man, these were great toys. And like, let's say like the Sectors. I'm sure he bought me the Sectars, or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. He definitely had some good taste in getting me toys. So thank you, Raymond. I love that. My other brother Walter was more the movie guy. Anytime like movie, he would buy like the brand new VCRs that came out, and I was always that was him. That was our connection with my brother Walter was more the movie time. So we would go to movies. I remember going to the movies to go see The Howling with him. So he would take me to see the horror movies, and we go into some of the drive-ins with my sister too and my other brother. But he would take us to the drive-in. I'd go to the movies. So my brother Walter was more into the taking me to the movies type of thing, where Raymond was probably more gifting me some of the cool toys too. So I have great memories from both of them. As in David, I have some great memories too. He's the one that actually, like I said before, got me the Shogun Godzilla. So thank you, David, for that. But this story is for Raymond. So 1979, right? We would, I would still go. So 1979, I was probably roughly 10 years old, I'm saying. So we would buy each other presents, and I didn't have a lot of money. I probably had allowance and stuff like that. So, and again, this is the 70s, 80s, where guys had the longer hair. We feathered our hair in the middle and parted in the middle, feathered to the sides. We spent time with a hair dryer, blow drying our hair and using hairspray and all that stuff, ruining the ozone layer, unfortunately. But that was back in the 70s and 80s. And so my brother was really into doing his hair, right? So actually, my brother, I remember, like, we didn't even go to hairdressers or a barber. I remember my brother used to cut my hair. He didn't even like go to school to cut hair, but he was always the one that would cut our hair. I don't know how he even got that job. The poor guy, man. He was probably babysitting us and cutting our hair and things like that. But thank you for cutting my hair for so many years, Raymond. Love you for that. Definitely had the cool hairstyle, feathered, parted in the middle. Fantastic. So, but anyways, I remember shopping at like Globe Store with my dad, and I didn't know what to get my brother Raymond for Christmas. So, what do I get? I'm talking to my dad, and he's like, well, Raymond's always doing his hair. Why don't you get him a can of hairspray? Fantastic. That's a great idea because he uses hairspray, right? So I got him a can of Aquanet. Gotta get Aquanet, the good stuff, right? Because that's the kind of guy I am. Gotta get to the good stuff, Aquanet. So I'm all happy, wrap it up, put it under the tree, blah, blah, blah. Probably a few days go by, talking to my brother and stuff like that. And, I don't know how it came up, but he was like, well, I hope you didn't get me like hairspray for Christmas. man, broke my heart right then and there. I was like, now, I had a nickname back when I was a kid. I had a pretty big temper, right? They used to call me the devil, probably like from The Exorcist. You know, when Linda Blair was like possessed, she was like all over the place, and I was the kid probably on the ground, banging my hands and kicking my feet on the ground, having a temper tantrum. That was me. So I was the devil. That was my nickname. Probably not the best nickname, right? But I'm okay with that. So I had a temper. So I was so ticked off and upset. I ran into the bathroom and I kicked a hole in the bathroom door closet. Ouch. Now, after I did it, my foot's in the door, right? Now I know, man, I'm in trouble. I just put a hole in the door, the bathroom closet. So now what do I do, man? So now I'm like crying. Now the hairspray, I kicked the door. I'm running away from home, man. So I'm running away. So I don't know if it grabbed any clothes, probably not, but I'm running out in the woods. I'm leaving. I'm running away. Blah blah blah. So now my brother Raymond is like probably shocked and like, oh man. So he feels so bad. Could you imagine? He must have felt so bad. He didn't mean any bad things by what he said. He just, sometimes you just say things. You don't assume people are going to do that. And like, he didn't think I bought him hairspray, but I did. So now he feels so bad. He's like, oh, come back home. So I come back home. So now he's going to let me open his Christmas present that he bought me. Now, like I said before, he gave some of the best presents, right? Things you didn't even ask for. But he knew, man. He knows what's cool. So he gifted me. I opened it up, and it was the 1978 Starbird. Man, the Starbird, man. Because I was in the Star Wars back then, and you got Battlestar Galactica and all that stuff. So here's a cool spaceship. So he gifted me that, and I love that. Starbird is definitely one of my grail items that I got back in my collection, thankfully. But yeah, Starbird, I love it. And every time I see that toy, I think of putting my foot in the bathroom door and Aquanet. So that's the another uh-oh moment story. Okay, here is another memory that I have. It's not an uh-oh moment, but it's just a memory that I have as a Christmas growing up in probably the late 70s, early 80s. Again, I'm going by what the toy year was, but I was older now. And now, like, my parents would get gifts. We'd gift each other stuff. But now, instead of mom and dad picking out a gift for us, now my dad's like, I will give you X amount of dollars and you pick out your own presents that we're going to gift you this year. So, man, I'm a big boy now. I can pick out my own presents at a toy shop for Christmas. Again, Santa's still going to bring presents to us, but this is a gift from mom and dad, right? So, how exciting is that? I get to go to a toy store and pick out my own Christmas presents. I'm a big boy now. Right? So my sister and I remember it was a store in probably like 15 minutes from us. It was a toy store, kind of like a KB, I guess, but I don't think it was a franchise. It was probably more of a mom and pop shop. It wasn't a Toys R Us. It wasn't a Child World or anything like that. Probably, I don't know, like a Toy Shack type of store. But they had all great toys. And I remember buying Star Wars figures there. I remember buying my Remco Monsters. Absolutely loved the Remco Universal Monsters back in the day. I probably got a few of those. I do remember purchasing some for Christmas at that store, whether it was that year or the year after. Probably we'll say it's this year. So I got some Universal Monsters also, which is fantastic. But there's one toy that I bought that I remember specifically, and that was Animal from the Muppets. The puppet. Yeah, I love that thing, man. And the one I own now is that original. That was mine back in the day. And I want to say it was 1980, but it's probably 79, right? Because I think that, so we'll say 79, 80, this happened. And Animal, man, love it. So I remember getting that home, and mom and dad probably brought it in the house, wrapped it, right? They had a special spot where they put the toys that they purchased, and mom and dad left, did some errands or whatnot. So I'm home alone with my brothers and sisters, me and my sister specifically, I remember. Now, she picked out Miss Piggy puppet from that. But I remember, so even though I knew the toy I got, I needed to play with it, right? So I remember getting the present when they were gone, sneaking it, opening it up, playing with it for a bit, wrapping it back up, putting it back in its spot. I'm sure we got busted from it, but I remember that Animal Muppet puppet. Love that thing. And yeah, I remember being a big boy that I was able to pick out my own present, and that was the present I chose is Animal. So that's that story. So I definitely got a lot of great gifts through the years. Christmas time, Santa definitely treated me good. Mom and dad, my brothers and sisters. My sister, I remember a couple items that she gave me, whether it was Christmas, probably Christmas, was the 1984 Gremlin striped doll. I know that was from my sister, so thank you. I still own that one. That is mine from 1984. That, I believe she even gifted me the Mork from Ork doll, that little egg with the little figurine, the little 3 3/4 Mork from Ork. Mork and Mindy, remember that? So yeah, I believe those two items were from my sister, but yeah, a lot of great gifts from my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and Santa Claus. So, but there was one toy that I wanted and never got as a kid. Could you imagine? But let me know in the comments, do you have a toy that you never got, that you wanted and never got for Christmas? Let me know in the comments. But the toy that I asked for and never got was the 1979 18-inch Kenner Alien doll. I wanted that thing so bad. I loved horror movies. I love horror through. I think even back in the 70s, I'm sure I remember watching It's Alive, some made-for-TV horror movies. I mean, we're a big horror fanatic family growing up. My mom loved horror movies, so I love watching Creature Double Feature back in the day. So when the 18-inch Alien doll came, I remember the commercial. You remember the commercial?
Kenner presents new Alien action figure.
Bayonets glow! Quick, shut the airlock! The alien's locked out now! He got through! Shh! Give up! Alien can't be beat! We'll zap him with the light! Don't, he'll destroy the spaceship! We've lost! Better find another ship! Let's try the kitchen! Another triumph for Alien!
Alien action figure, new from Kenner.
I needed that thing, man. I wanted it so bad. Asked for it, and guess what? I got a model instead. Still cool, don't get me wrong. I love the model. I actually bought a reproduction of that model, which is pretty cool. I do have that. But the Kenner Alien, man, I think we all know the reason why I never got it is because they were pulled off the shelves, right? They probably searched for it because I don't think of a toy. I can't imagine. I don't remember a toy that I wanted that I never got. And don't get me wrong, it's not like, I guess, I don't think I was spoiled, but I got a lot of stuff. Mainly probably because, like I said before, I think either my mom or my dad were secretly toy collectors because they probably enjoyed buying toys also. So that's how I was. Like when my kids were little, man, I would love, it's all about the hunt, right? So I would love hunting for toys for them. And I definitely shower them with a lot of toys. And my wife used to always give me a hard time. You buy them too many toys, but you know, I love toys, so what can I say? But yeah, so that 1979 Kenner Alien, I never got as a kid, but guess what? I did get it as an adult, so I do own it. So just took a few years, right? I got it in my collection, so I love the Kenner Alien, and yeah. So this was fun. I love telling you some stories of growing up, some Christmas moments. So I want to thank you for this year, man. Been a fantastic year. The year's almost over, New Year's Eve. So hopefully next year will be another fantastic year. So I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and be safe this new year. And I will see you later on. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. Remember, we are all Geek Strong. Take care, everyone.